Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Rob's Arcade, Rob's Arcade, where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
Well, good morning, guys. Like I said, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French. Try to take it easy so the camera doesn't jerk all around. It's been a couple of days since I've touched base with you guys. This is Sunday, April 3rd, I guess. Everything's still going good. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with my channel, along with all of the cool video game stuff and comic book stuff that I typically do, all the Lego unboxings and what have you, I've recently been diving into more personal issues here on my channel and discussing recently some of my struggles and issues with alcohol and alcohol addiction, alcoholism. And about just a little over 2 weeks ago, I started talking to you guys and vowed, not to drink anymore, to give it up. I mean, it's been, like I said, just a little over 2 weeks. We're still going strong. It's not that it's easy at any point. And as the days go on, it just gets a little bit tougher and tougher. Especially these last few days over the weekend. Part of the reason why I haven't been touching base with you guys as well. Last time I kind of got with you guys was Thursday while I was getting my oil changed. And Friday I had to get new tires put on the truck, and I was hanging out with Aunt Marlene for a little while. And yesterday, really, I was just kind of a mess. I just really didn't want to do a whole lot of anything. Just kind of like in another world. Just got a lot going on, trying to get ready. Tomorrow, I head back to Virginia tomorrow night, picking up my buddy Andrew from the airport in Tampa. And we're just hitting the road, man. So I got to figure out the hotel situation. I think we're going to grab a room overnight and hang out in Georgia once we head out of Tampa Monday night, and then get up early, hit the rest of the way Tuesday, and hopefully be back in Virginia by Tuesday evening is our plan. So yeah, I'll be back in Virginia Tuesday if everything goes according to plan. I don't want to jinx myself, but that's if everything works out like it's supposed to. I'll be staying with my aunt for a little while until I guess I get my own place. But it's just it's scary, and it's a lot all at once, and just trying to hold it together. And I've been so busy here in Florida just trying to get myself together to move home that I haven't really had time to process a lot of all of this, and it's strange because it's not like most couples when they separate or you know, they start talking about, we haven't even like talked about divorce or anything like that, but I'm just guessing once it gets to that stage, you know, sometimes there's like arguing and there's fighting and there's like some kind of like disdain for one another. And it's been very relaxed. And in fact, ever since she's kind of like come out and I guess gotten that weight off of her shoulder that, you know, my wife isn't very happy in the marriage, it's been a lot, that air between us is gone. And so that kind of leaves me hopeful, but just, you know, moving all my stuff and moving back home, it just seems like such a severe and drastic move. And, you know, not to say that, you know, getting back together is completely out of the picture. But, you know, I see the move back as being more of a long-term thing, and that really, really scares me, and it's really sad. You know, my wife is actually this weekend, she made plans a while back, you know, to have her friend come in from out of town, and they were supposed to do some stuff this weekend, her friend and her son and her friend's son, and, you know, they're all going to hang out and do a bunch of stuff. And, you know, now all this is going on, and, you know, so she's actually, the three of them are staying at Marlene's this weekend, and just trying to, you know, because the apartment's full of boxes, there's just not a lot of space for guests to be moving around and doing stuff. It's just a really weird, odd, you know, situation. And she actually left yesterday morning to go pick Michelle up from the airport and her son. And, you know, it was kind of like our last, you know, little morning that we'll have together, and we'll see each other. And Friday was kind of sad and depressing too. It's like, you know, it was like our last night, just kind of hanging out together, not really sure what to say, like what is there to say kind of a thing. Like I said, we're not arguing, we're not fighting with each other, so we're literally just having dinner and watching TV and just, you know, very awkwardly trying to get through the evening. And it's very, very sad yesterday, her leaving. Like, I mean, it literally broke my heart having her leave and knowing that, like, you know, I'm not going to see her for a while. Even now, it hurts, it upsets me. And I think it's kind of good in a way that when I leave tomorrow night, you know, she won't be here. Her and Michelle and her friend and her son Nick will be all, I think, coming back from Magic Kingdom. You know, they're taking Nick to Magic Kingdom. They've got a lot going on in their life right now, so Michelle and her son really need this as well. So I can't be too selfish and upset, you know. Like, part of me wants to be upset, like, really? I'm going through all this shit, and my wife is going to Disney with her friends, and I think that would be a lot of people's attitude. But considering what Michelle is going through right now in her life, she really needs this more than anything. So I'm kind of grateful that Michelle is coming into town, and that they can kind of be here for each other through all of this. And like I said, there's a part of me that kind of gets upset, but you know, I try to, you know, push that aside. But there's a part of me that's glad that she's not here this weekend, because when I leave Monday, it's going to be heartbreaking enough. You know, just I got a U-Haul pod coming, pack all my stuff up in that, ship that out. It'll arrive the middle of the month, and it's kind of convenient. So literally, like I said, I'm just picking up my homeboy Andrew. We're driving to Virginia. I'm just bringing a few things that I'm going to need with, you know, my comic books and some clothes, the necessities. And it's going to be kind of refreshing not, I guess, to have to unpack as soon as I get back into town. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow when, you know, I load up my comics and my suitcase and the sun goes down, I go pick up Andrew from the airport, it's going to be sad. Like, leaving my dog is literally the most heartbreaking, aside from losing my dog Brooklyn, thing I've ever done. Like, it's just I worry more about that dog understanding what's going on than anything else in this. Like, I don't really get what's going on. I don't know if my wife understands what's going on, but I constantly find myself falling apart just thinking about the dog and what she's going to go through. Like, you know, I'm literally like right there with her all the time, you know, and like, how is she going to process all of this? So like I said, as the days as the days go on, man, they get harder and harder and harder. Like, I don't think there's going to be a day where I'm not going to have some kind of stress, or I'm not going to have some kind of obstacle or something to work through. And, you know, I just got to keep in mind that drinking isn't going to be the solution to any of those problems. And my sister once said something really great when it came to quitting cigarettes. And it's great advice, I think, when it comes to quitting anything. And that typically people, when it comes to smoking, they do it because they're like usually going through something kind of stressful, and they feel like they need a cigarette, you know, like, oh man, like work's really tough right now, or, you know, so-and-so's going on, or, oh man, you know, blah, 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 blah. Getting ready for this vacation, man. It's just like, once I get back from vacation, I'll stop. There's always like some reason to smoke a cigarette, right? There's always some reason to light up. And, you know, my sister kind of pointed out, if you just wait for that time when there's nothing to kind of stress over and there's nothing to kind of work through without having a cigarette, you know, it's never going to come, basically. So it's like, you know, I can use drinking as a way to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to drink to help me get through this hard time. And, you know, once I get through this hard time, you know, I'll put the bottle away. But, you know, honestly, like, there's always going to be hard times. Like, you know, this isn't easy for my wife. You know, Friday, she called out of work because she was just so visibly upset. She just couldn't even take phone calls anymore, which made me, you know, question, like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is what you want? You know, make sure. You know, if you're really sad about all this, really think about, is this really what you want? Because once I'm back home, I'm like 14 hours away. Like, there is no just like, let me hop back in my car and, you know, just, I'll be there in a few minutes kind of a situation. You know, if she calls me, I'll hop back in my car and I'll be there in no time. But, you know, there's not that, you know, I'll be right down the street aspect. So like I said, even Friday, I made sure, like, you know, you really want to do this, make sure. And it seems like, you know, what she wants, you know, she just wants her space and what have you. And like I said, I don't know, maybe it's good for me to get back home. And, you know, like I said, I haven't been doing too great here in Florida. I've just been kind of goofing off and like treating it like it's a, you know, permanent vacation, basically. Working part-time, you know, just not really making the best out of my potential, essentially. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good for me to get back home. You know, I'm like, so my dad's not doing too well health-wise either. So, you know, I'd hate to be here and get that phone call and have to travel back home and deal with all that. So maybe me being, you know, closer to home, you know, help be there for my mom, kind of take some of the slack, you know, pick up some of the slack on for her, pick up some of that burden for her. You know, she's been kind of, you know, dealing with my dad and all this, you know, since we moved, essentially. So, you know, it's almost been a year of that, so I'm sure she could use a little bit of a hand and, you know, just get back and just kind of hang out with some friends. So, you know, all in all, it might not be a bad thing, but tell you what, sure as hell isn't an easy thing. Not by any means. Oh man, yeah, yesterday was a really rough one. You said I was crying, brokenhearted, sad, lonely. In fact, I didn't even leave the house yesterday. There was a couple times where I wanted to leave the house, like thinking like, oh, I'll get an energy drink and like, oh, maybe that'll do this, I'll do that. I'll run out and I'll grab something to eat maybe. And I didn't trust myself to even leave the house yesterday. I said, if I leave the house and I go get myself like an energy drink or a Red Bull, I am going to stop at Walgreens or I'm going to stop at Walmart. I'm going to make a point to stop at one of those little liquor stores right next to those two wall stores, Walgreens and the Walmart, I'd make a point to go. I'd make it a point to go. I wouldn't even want to, but my body and everything would just do it. I would just go with the flow, with what I'm used to. And so, like, I made it a point yesterday. I'm like, I'm not leaving the house. I just don't trust myself to. I don't trust myself to leave the house today, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to. I feel like if I leave the house today for anything, I'm going to go and get that drink. It's going to happen. Matter of fact, I need to go circle the calendar right now and remind myself of what I'm trying to do today. All right, yeah, so I got my my day marked or circled on the calendar. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, if you haven't been following my channel, it's just something I've been doing every day to kind of help establish, I guess, some accountability for every day. When I first started doing these little walks and videos, one of the reasons I started doing it was because I felt like the reason I never really had taken my alcoholism seriously was because I just, even though like I was aware of it, I never really addressed it. And so part of these things I do is just part of me being held accountable for what, you know, I've been doing and what I'm trying to accomplish now. And so when I say go circle my day on the calendar or go mark my calendar or whatever, one of the things I do every day, which I've tried to do in the past, and it's never stuck until now for whatever reason, I guess. You know, where my relationship and, you know, with my wife and just where I'm at in general in my life, just was finally, I guess, like enough to be like, dude, what are you doing, I guess. But I just wake up every day, I take a red marker and I circle that day. I think it's something I learned from The Simpsons, to be honest. You know, I circle that day when I wake up, and that's kind of like, all right, I've got this day to be accountable for. And then at the end of the day, before I go to bed, I take the same marker and I put a little X through the, you know, through the circle. It kind of looks like a little cool X-Men logo. Looks like a full calendar of X-Men logos by the time I'm done. So that is one, you know, thing that kind of helps me stay on track and kind of helps, you know, keep me accountable. And then, like I said, these videos as well, which is crazy. Like I said, in a few days, are all going to be taking place in another location. I'll be back home in Virginia, and part of me really just wants to, you know, hurry up and get home because, you know, if my wife needs time apart, and you know, I want to give her what she wants, and then if I need to, you know, get my stuff together, I just want to hurry up and get that going. You know, like if she needs time apart, let's just go ahead and start that. Let's just get that going, get that taken care of, get it out the way, and stop. You know, I guess just like prolonging it, because I mean, right now it's basically just being, you know, keeping myself busy, packing and getting ready to move, and I haven't really had time to process, decompress, and really take all this in. And so part of me just wants to hurry up and get back to Virginia, you know, see my mom, see some friends, and finally just kind of get to my aunt's house where I could just finally like decompress and just kind of like let it all out, you know. Cry a bit and sob, dry heave, probably throw up a bit, you know, that kind of fun stuff that we all look forward to in any split up. Because even though, like I said, this isn't, like I said, I'm counting, you know, all my chips and cashing out and saying it's over. You know, my wife and I are taking some time apart, and you know, she's not just my wife, she has been my best friend for a very long time. And you know, I'm gonna miss that, and it's gonna be hard I think for both of us, you know, in the long run, but you know, like I said, part of me just wants to go ahead and just get that part going. I probably won't do a video tomorrow. I'm going to be extremely busy. Tomorrow is like packing day. I got the U-Haul pod showing up, and we'll get that guy loaded up so they can take it out of here. And then, you know, got to get the SUV loaded up. And then I'm just going to be trying to spend as much time with my dog tomorrow as possible. I think Andrew's plane touches down at like 9:30, something like that. So I'll probably push it to the last minute. You know, I'll probably text him and let him know, like, hey, dude, you'll probably be hanging outside, sitting on your bag for a good 10-15 minutes, because I'm going to get as much puppy time in as I possibly can. Today's goal is just to finish getting everything packed up, get my clothes situated, the last little bit of my kitchen stuff, and pretty much just leave like the the PlayStation, TV, and comic books for last. Just kind of pack that into the SUV throughout the afternoon and evening. That's got to come first, you know. We got to continue to do Rob's Arcade no matter where I am, you know, continue to pick up comic books and play video games. I feel like right now, which is ironic, that these video games and comics and everything are going to play a more important part in my life than they ever have. You know, they've always been there, especially comics, to help, like, you know, take my mind off of things. And I don't know if I caught that on camera or not. Be a bit of a distraction when things are getting kind of crazy. And you know, I don't think things have ever been as crazy as they are getting right now for me. Well, I'd take that back. They have been. I've been through some crazy shit. This is just some new crazy shit, I guess. But yeah, I feel like comics are gonna be a more important, integral part of my life now more than they ever have. You know, just helping me keep my mind distracted, not only from just dwelling on sad and bad thoughts, but also just keeping me from, you know, being bored and just wanting to step out and grab that drink just because, or, you know, whatever. You know, it's like, just try to keep in mind, like, no, dude, like, if you wanted to go out there and grab a beer, grab a drink or something like that, you know, remember, you got one of the coolest addictions that anybody can have, and that's being addicted to comic book reading and being addicted to video game playing. So, keeping that in mind, like I said, guys, we're just going to take it one day at a time. Make sure you keep up with me, subscribe to my channel, so that way you not only miss updates about how I'm doing and what's going on with me and how things are progressing with my wife and I, and how life in Virginia and adapting to all that's going. It's going to be like reacclimating myself to life in Virginia after being here in Florida, as you can hear. It's crazy. God, I'm going to miss it, man. But not only that, but yeah, make sure you keep in touch too, man. Make sure you subscribe so you get those comic book and video game videos that I'm talking about, as well as like Lego reviews and unboxings, toys unboxings, just all kinds of cool stuff here on Rob's Arcade. I'm going to need you guys going forward for sure. I'm going to need my family, I'm going to need my friends, I'm going to need my YouTube community. I'm going to need those thumbs up, I'm going to need those comments down below. I'm going to need you to share this, man, with anybody out there, you know, kind of going through some of the same crap You know, people think sometimes that they're the only ones going through shit, but you know, everybody does. From, you know, me and you to, you know, Jay-Z, whoever. It's everybody gets affected, man. So make sure you share this video, and then, like I said, go ahead and subscribe so I won't miss you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, this is not goodbye, simply to be continued. And until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out at Rob's Arcade, and I'll see you later.